I walked into that mediation office thinking I deserved everything. I walked out with nothing. And I still don't fully understand how it happened.
You're right. They understood you. They understood exactly what you are.
That one sentence hit harder than anything in 7 years of marriage. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Chapter 1, 7 years. I'm Nicole, 33 years old. 7 years married to Marcus. And I swear, the man never once understood what I actually needed. He was 36, worked constantly, had this obsessive need to manage every detail of our life together.
Where are you going tonight?
Out with friends.
Which friends? What time will you be back?
Marcus, I'm not a teenager.
I'm just asking.
You're always just asking. Every single time I try to have a life outside of this apartment, you interrogate me like I'm a suspect.
I ask because you never tell me anything anymore.
Because every time I do, you make it into a whole thing. That was our marriage. Him hovering, me suffocating. 2 years ago, I quit my job. I needed space. I needed to figure out who I was outside of being Marcus's wife and a corporate drone. Did he support that?
How are we going to cover expenses if you're not working?
I need time to breathe, to figure out my direction.
I support that. But we need a plan. We can't just...
There you go again, controlling everything. Can't I make one decision without you turning it into a budget meeting? He went quiet. Like he always did when I pushed hard enough. That was his problem. He went quiet instead of fighting for me. So I started looking for people who would. Chapter 2, What I Needed. Tyler understood my creative side in ways Marcus never could. Jake made me laugh until my stomach hurt, something I hadn't felt at home in years. Ryan actually listened when I talked about my dreams. And Chris? He made me feel beautiful and desired. Not like some obligation Marcus had to manage. Were these relationships crossing lines? Maybe. But when your husband treats you like you're invisible, unless he needs something, you find people who actually see you. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I was trying to survive a marriage that had been dead for years.
Nicole, are you actually happy? Like, genuinely?
For the first time in a long time, yes.
What about Marcus?
Marcus and I have been roommates for 2 years. He's more interested in his spreadsheets than in me.
That's not...
Ashley, you don't know what it's like, being invisible in your own home, having a husband who hasn't touched you like he means it in over a year, who makes you feel like furniture.
Have you tried talking to him?
I've tried everything. He doesn't hear me. These men, they actually hear me. I believed every word of that. At the time. Chapter 3, The Mediation. I walked into that beige conference room feeling confident. This was going to be straightforward. The house was mine. I'd been the one actually living in it, making it a home while Marcus buried himself in conference calls. Spousal support was obvious. I'd sacrificed my career for our marriage. Mr. Collins, the mediator, seemed reasonable, moved at a pace that tested my patience. Can we just skip to the part where I get what I deserve? This is taking forever.
Mrs. Carter, these proceedings require...
I know. But we both know this marriage has been over for years. Marcus sat across from me, calm, that same careful stillness he always had. When he slid the first folder across the table, the house, I felt a rush of satisfaction. You're offering me the house and keeping the condo. I laughed. Wow, you really loved me, didn't you?
I did.
He said it like it was past tense, like he was already gone. You really think you were the only one who felt that way? Come on. You can't be that clueless. You think you were the only man who thought I was special? The laughter came up before I could stop it. God, you're all so predictable. That's when Marcus reached into his briefcase and pulled out a second folder. Thicker than the first. Something cold moved through my stomach.
You're right. I did think you were everything.
He slid it across the table. My hands shook as I opened it. Chapter 4. The folder. Photos. Dates. Times. Locations. What is this?
Private investigators report. 8 months of surveillance. 4 different affair partners over the past 2 years. Dates, times, locations, and photographic evidence.
Mr. Carter, perhaps...
You had me followed?
I had my wife followed. When she started coming home at midnight smelling like someone else's cologne. When she started password protecting her phone after 7 years of leaving it open. When she suddenly needed to work late 3 nights a week at a job she'd already quit.
The mediator was flipping through pages. His expression said everything. There were photos of me with Tyler at the cafe we liked. Pictures of Jake and me going into a hotel. Timestamps showing exactly when I'd told Marcus I was at my sister's, while I was with Ryan. Credit card receipts for places I'd never mentioned. This is an invasion of privacy.
My lawyer confirmed it's completely legal. No expectation of privacy in public spaces, vehicles, or hotel parking lots.
I want a different mediator. You're trying to humiliate me.
I'm showing documentation of marital infidelity, which impacts asset division and spousal support quite significantly.
Mrs. Carter, I'd suggest we take a break and both parties consult with their respective counsel before...
We're done here. I grabbed my purse. My hands were shaking. I'm calling my lawyer. You're not getting away with this.
Getting away with what? Documenting your affairs?
I stormed out. The door rattled on its hinges behind me. Chapter 5. The week after. I called Marcus 36 times the first day. Voicemails that ranged from apologetic to threatening to completely hysterical. He didn't answer a single one. My lawyer delivered the news without softening it.
The PI report is completely legal. Licensed investigator, public spaces, proper documentation. We have no grounds to challenge it. This eliminates any chance of spousal support and significantly impacts asset division.
So what do I do?
Damage control. That's all we have left.
I called Marcus's parents, told them about his controlling behavior throughout our marriage, how scared I was of him, how the surveillance was stalking because I'd tried to leave. His mother called me back in tears.
Tell me this isn't true. Tell me my son didn't...
He's been emotionally unavailable for years. I tried everything to make it work. He's trying to destroy me because I finally stood up for myself. I sent similar messages to mutual friends. The loneliness, the emotional neglect, the mistakes I made because I was vulnerable, how the evidence was illegally obtained to humiliate me. Some people believed me, but the ones who actually knew us asked uncomfortable questions. Ashley called.
Nicole, Chandler, Marcus just sent me some kind of report. Do you want to tell me what's actually going on?
It's not what it looks like. He was never there for me. I was lonely, and I made some mistakes.
4 different men over 2 years.
Ashley,
And you're trying to paint Marcus as the bad guy?
he made me feel invisible. He never...
Nicole, stop. I love you, but stop.
She hung up. Chapter 6. My mother. I told my family Marcus had been hiding money. Secret accounts. Trying to leave me with nothing. My mother, Charlie, showed up at his apartment on a Thursday night. I watched through my phone as she pounded on his door. When Marcus opened it, she launched in immediately.
How dare you humiliate my daughter like this? Who do you think you are, having her followed like some criminal?
I documented infidelity during divorce proceedings.
She made some mistakes. That doesn't give you the right to destroy her reputation.
She destroyed her own reputation by sleeping with 4 different men while married to me.
Those men saw what you couldn't. My daughter is special. She deserves to be worshipped.
Then they can worship her through their own bank accounts, not mine.
He closed the door. My mother called me immediately.
Nicole, I need you to tell me the truth. All of it.
Mom,
The truth. Right now.
I told her a version of it. She was quiet for a long time.
You need to stop fighting this. You need to focus on what you can still save.
I deserve that house.
Nicole, listen to me. You are not going to win this fight. Do you understand me? Stop making it worse.
I didn't listen. Chapter 7, The Courtroom. The hearing was brutal. I sat explaining how I needed immediate support, how Marcus was controlling me financially, how I was afraid. Then his lawyer introduced my bank statements. Every withdrawal, every hotel charge, every restaurant receipt, all coinciding with the surveillance dates. The judge looked at me over his glasses. You're claiming financial hardship while maintaining an $8,000 balance and spending $300 at a time on hotel rooms with men who aren't your husband? Your Honor, the financial abuse began when... Motion denied. Outside the courthouse, I cornered Marcus in the parking lot. You're really doing this? You're really going to destroy me over some mistakes?
4 affairs aren't mistakes.
I was lonely. You were always at work. I needed attention.
So get a hobby, not 4 boyfriends.
You're such a self-righteous...
I never claimed to be perfect, but I stayed faithful. That's kind of the bare minimum.
Fine. Take your precious evidence. Take your moral high ground. But you're going to pay for this. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are.
Everyone already knows what kind of person you are. I have photographs.
Chapter 8, The Settlement. The final numbers were not what I expected. 35% of the house proceeds. Marcus kept his retirement accounts. $800 a month in spousal support. For 1 year,
My client is offering these terms to avoid trial. If this goes public record,
I sacrificed my career for that marriage.
you also had 4 documented affairs. We're fortunate to be receiving anything.
The day we signed, I couldn't stop myself. You know this is just because you couldn't handle that I needed more than you could give. Those men understood me in ways you never could. Marcus looked at me. Really looked.
You're absolutely right.
I blinked.
They understood you. They understood exactly what you are. Someone who uses people, who takes what she wants and justifies it however she needs to. They understood that perfectly. The difference is they didn't care, because they weren't married to you. They didn't have anything to lose. They were just having fun with someone else's wife. But I actually thought you had integrity. Turns out I was wrong.
I signed the last page with shaking hands. You're going to regret this when you're alone and miserable.
I'm already happier than I've been in 2 years.
You'll never find anyone like me.
God, I hope not.
Chapter 9, After. My 35% of the house came to about $60,000 after closing costs. I rented an expensive apartment in a trendy neighborhood. New furniture, new wardrobe. I was going to show everyone I was thriving. The men who'd made me feel so special. Tyler stopped returning my calls the week the divorce finalized. Jake blocked my number when I asked if he wanted to make things official now that I was free. Ryan told me he wasn't looking for anything serious. Chris was back with his ex-girlfriend before I'd moved into my new place. Turns out, they were interested in the married woman with a stable life and someone else paying the bills. The divorced woman who needed actual support? Not so appealing. 6 months after the divorce, I was working retail at a department store. My mother was helping with rent. The essential oils business I'd invested in turned out to be a pyramid scheme. Another $5,000 gone. Meanwhile, Marcus was doing well. Really well. Advancement at work. New car. Dating someone named Sophie, a tax attorney who apparently treated him with the respect I never bothered to give him. I sent him one text from a new number. I know you hate me, but I need you to know I'm sorry. I messed up everything, and I see that now. He blocked it without responding. My sister called a few weeks later.
Maybe you should reach out again. He might be willing to extend the support if you approached it right.
I used to depend on him, I said. That's different from loving him. She went quiet.
Nicole, do you hear yourself?
I heard myself. I just didn't know what to do with what I heard. I am sitting in a studio apartment now. Retail job. Mother's pity money. Cats that belong to Marcus and probably have a better life than I do. The men who saw me, who understood me, who made me feel wanted. They're gone. Marcus has Sophie, and I have exactly what I built. That's where this story ends. Thank you for listening. If this one stayed with you, subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications. See you in the next one.